fans, welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the luxurious Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports online at impactpowersportsmi.com. I'll be meeting with the good folks from Impact Power Sports today. A high-level business meeting has to take place. So there you go. They are awesome. If you need a Yamaha golf cart, and who doesn't, frankly, need a Yamaha golf cart? That's where you go. They're in Rockford, Michigan. You can also pick up an ATV, UTV, e-bike, motorcycle, snowmobile, lawnmower, you name it, they got it. On the live stream, if you want to comment, you must be a subscriber. I just changed that recently. My apologies if there's any confusion. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, I know. And if you're subscribed, you're skipping all the commercials. There's two ways to subscribe. You can do it by linking up your Amazon Prime account, and or you can pay a few bucks a month. That's up to you. If not, just sit through the commercials. Either way, it's fine. But I want you to be able to comment, so you got to subscribe. That was put in place after, I basically, I had to put a few more barriers between me and an entity that refuses to stop hassling me, refuses despite my best efforts. So you're like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, Easy. Yeah, I don't want to reveal anything about it. But people are asking. John says, you're wearing the same sweatshirt as yesterday. Yeah, I know. I think that might be the third time this week I've worn this one, because this is how this works. When it's bedtime, the clothes are next to the bed, and then I get in bed, and then I wake up, and I put them back on, and then that's it. I literally have to wear one pair of underwear a month. Some of that is true. You have to figure out what is true. Lately, I've got it down where, like the radio show, the top of the hour is news. I've talked about this before for the radio show that I do on Q100. And the news team does 2 minutes of news and then 1 minute of commercials. So I have 3 minutes from the time my alarm goes off at 6 a.m. to get in here and get on the air. So there is literally no margin of error whatsoever. So the amount of time it takes me to get the Detroit Lions hoodie, the Red Wings winter cap on, and my slippers and my sweatpants is then I sit down. There's probably 25 seconds left. I hit the music, and then away I go. I would believe one pair of undies a month if you had a bidet and knew how to use it. That's a great point, Maureen. You must listen to the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, because there was some outrageous discussions about bidets, and I literally had it wrong as to the specifics of how to use it. I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I know what a bidet does, but there's a nuance to it that is embarrassing. Okay. Also, on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast this week, by sheer accident, kind of, we had you remember when, like on the Tracy Ullman show in the late 80s, when they featured a little vignette called The Simpsons? Okay, that's how The Simpsons began, as a short on the Tracy Ullman show. While I was doing the podcast, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, Pooh Bear sat in for me while I let the dog out. Thus, that was the very first effort, our first ever, technically, the Patreon Poocast. That's what we can refer to it as. Pooh Bear sat in here, put on the headphones, and had a discussion for 10 minutes with the group live on Zoom. It was great fun. I haven't listened to it. I won't listen to it. I don't know what she talked about. She says she talked about my penis, which is ridiculous. The Poocast needs to happen more often. Pooh Bear. And just like, because she doesn't know how to do anything here, but she knows how to talk. I'll just put the headphones on her and say, all right, there you go. Do the Poocast. I think that people would like the Poocast because it gives people a glimpse further into this household. From her standpoint, you know, she is a big personality. There is no doubt about it, and she knows how to turn it on and off even more. So when she's in front of a microphone, I'm telling you, she's a great radio wife. She understood long ago how this all works. And I can't say enough how much I appreciate her. I know I don't say it enough, how much I appreciate Pooh Bear. But as I understand it, rave reviews on the first ever Patreon Poocast. All right. We are now days away from the 6th annual Eric Zane Show podcast Great Food Giveaway. Brought to you by you, the listener, where we passed the hat around, raised $5,600. I take it back, $6,600. We raised all of the money with your donations, and then Mike Ball from MB Distributing threw in $1,000 from the Ball family, the multi-talented Michael, Nicole, Carter, and Smithers. Why the hell do you call Mike Ball's son Smithers, Easy? All right, back to The Simpsons. If you ever seen The Simpsons, Mr. Burns' assistant is Smithers. And I didn't think of this. It was my daughter, Jacqueline. And she goes, Mike Ball's son looks like Smithers. I go, what? I go, oh, yeah, he kind of does look like Smithers. Smithers is going to be there taking selfies and pics at the Great Food Giveaway coming up Tuesday at 3 p.m. That's when it gets started. We'll get there about 1. I might get there a little later. Got things to do. But I'm just the eye candy. I mean, honestly, and Smithers is the eye candy. So he's good at that. What he's not good at is putting out fires. You know, he's a young man. He hasn't dealt with the public like the rest of us have. In particular, Megan, when she was faced with a crabby recipient in the Great Food Giveaway, and that will happen. You get this hodgepodge of people who are getting the food, and there was a little bit of miscommunication, not the end of the world. And some folks thought that they got more than 1 box of food when they were told that they are not getting 2 boxes of food. There was some consternation, some upset feelings, and Smithers was the brunt of it. And he's like, he's got angry black women screaming at him. And he's like, oh, shit, I don't know how to deal with this. He hadn't even seen a black person until that event. So thank God show mom Megan stepped in and rescued Smithers from what could have been a catastrophe, because they were pissed off. They were coming on strong. And Megan has a great handle on dealing. She's a people person. She's in customer service. So she's being polite and smiling, trying to talk her way out of it. Now, I don't know if she necessarily was successful in talking her way out of it, because they kind of like peeled out. They were very upset and peeled out on that deal. Nick says we should make some fake ringer boxes to hand out to the Escalades and the BMWs. Oh, my God, you're right. It's a great idea. Chris in Buffalo says, just remember, even though they're driving an Escalade, the credit score might be 380 with a 28.9 APR in the loan. They might need the food. Maureen says, I have plenty of experience dealing with ignorant masses from my dog outreach work. Some of our volunteers are not allowed to talk in stressful situations. They send me in for that. I think because I'm old, LOL. Stevie asks, how is Bruce doing this morning? Well, let's check it out. Oops. He's hanging in there as we get his gray face up here. He was a big snuggle bug last night. We have stopped the rice and hard-boiled eggs diet. He is back to eating his old food. So I think he has turned the corner, and he ate it just fine. Okay? Last night, full snuggle bug, but there was some problematic farts. So I think things have settled down in his digestive system. Pooh Bear says to me, she says, look, because she found out that it was another $700 bill for him. And she says, you got to wait to take him in because it probably would have cleared up on his own. And I said, that's horrible. That is horrible advice. And it's par for the course. All right. Yeah, I said, you are not a good dog owner. She says, what the hell are you talking about? I said, we didn't know that, though. He might have eaten something that was terrible for him, that was causing some type of perforation in his intestines or a blockage. And I can't function like that. The anxiety of that, trying to wait it out, hoping that he makes a turn for the better is unacceptable. So, no, I'm not doing that. This is the same woman. She's a psychopath who I've told this story before about when my cat, Lincoln, I was walking up the steps and I'm like face to face with him, and his eyes are two different colors. One was the same color it's always been, and the other one was black. And I said to her, what is going on here? And she says, what? I go, his eyes are two different colors. Oh, they're always that way. I go, I don't think they were. She says, yeah, it is. I go, I really don't believe that. I'm taking him in. No, I wouldn't. I go, what's it going to hurt? I take him in, and long story short, he had eye cancer. Like, I'm not kidding you. They removed the eye, and the eye had cancer in it. And had I not done this, he said, it's a damn good thing you brought it in because that can easily go into the brain. You caught it way early, and because what they do is they detect the pressure. And he also said that the cat was probably in terrible discomfort because of that. And I'm like, what the fuck? So now he's got one eye. Tyler says, hasn't she historically said to wait when animals could have died had you not intervened? Absolutely. I've always followed my instincts when it comes to the pets. Always. There have been times when I didn't listen to the instinct. Prior to going to Animal Medical Center of Wyoming, who again refuses to spend money with me, damn it, we went to another vet, and when Lucy, you don't know Lucy, but she was another bulldog we had. There's something wrong with her. I take her in. Vet says, all right, I think she's fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her. And I'm like, and I remember feeling just like they were wrong. It just didn't feel right. And I brought her home, and the next day I got home from work, and she was dead on the floor. That was a week before I got fired, or a week before I got suspended from Free Beer for when I made fun of the guy's pants. It was a rough week. My dog died, and then I made fun of Joel's pants, and then that was the end of the line. It turned out to be a blessing, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here with you now. All right. So anyway, that's what's up with Bruce. He's doing much better. Much, much better. In fact, I stopped giving him his medications. They said if he stops puking, if he stops diarrhea, you're in good shape. So thank you for that. Thank you for asking. All right. I got a heads up today, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what is in the water. Tyler writes, when you called the queen of the forest and told her about the dead dog, did she say she's probably fine, just leave her there and she'll walk it off eventually? Oh, that was so bad. Oh my God. So I'm here doing the show today, doing the radio show, minding my own business again. And Alan in Wisconsin sends me a screenshot. These poor people get so wound up. Oh, my God. This person, this Jonathan Winston, is pissed off about something. He posts to the place, I guess, where you go to talk about me. The Free Beer and Hot Wings Segment 18 radio show Facebook page. As you can see, it says, anyone else in awe of how vile Eric Zane actually is. Worst hire ever. I haven't worked there in 10 years. What are you talking about? What brought this on? Why now? Why all of a sudden now? What in the world is happening that has made Jonathan Winston so upset? Wonder if there's a way to reach out to Jonathan Winston. I would love to talk to Jonathan Winston. He looks like an oil rigger, like he works in oil fields, because on Facebook he's got pictures. What are these things called? Derricks? Pump? And this is him. So he's got, it's the usual appearance. I mean, this is the typical face of the average Free Beer and Hot Wings show audience member. They always look like this. Yeah, I want to know. I want to talk to this guy. Yeah, the oil industry is what he does. Maybe I could look up his license plate on his rig. I see that he's got a Nebraska plate. Maybe that'll help me. I like the sport of tracking these people down. Yes, I don't know. I don't know what brought this on. I don't know why he's attacking me. What did I do? Ben Glaze says, I can't comment on the live stream, but you're the only thing keeping the Segment 18 page afloat, LOL. The other posts are all memes. Posts about you are the only ones that get traction. I know. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, you can't post because you got to subscribe. I had to put that parameter in place on my Twitch. Do you have an Amazon Prime account, Ben Glaze? Link up your Amazon Prime account to Twitch, and you can comment. It's again unfortunate that I had to do that. I apologize for those, but it's just awful. It has been a week. I tell you what, it has been a week. What with these senseless, heinous attacks on your old pal EZ. Bob says it's a Christmas miracle. Not one Greggy Mike sniff during the 9 o'clock Hot Wings break-in. What a heartless monster free beer is. Yeah, he did the same thing last year, I think because he hates Hot Wings. Hurricane Ashley is here and says, so Winston is just a fan? Worst hire ever? Weird way to say that. I don't know. Birch Barlow says, it's because I expose the fraud break-ins. Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. I don't understand. I mean, all I've said is what they've said. They've made it known that what I've talked about is actually a thing. The whole theater of the mind element to it. I said that they're doing a great thing by a person who's down on their luck giving them $50,000 worth of toys. I mean, who wouldn't want an entire mobile home filled from the floor to the ceiling with packages? I mean, rather than taking that money and, buying food, let's give it all to one person who then turns around and sells it all because they don't have the storage to keep all that shit in place. It's a real burden. I always felt bad about the break-ins because we actually were costing the people that we gave all the shit to money because they then had to rent like $90,000 a month in storage space to put all the garbage in there. And then it was always a drag because Ronnie's charcuterie boards would give us 500 charcuterie boards. So then we give one person who doesn't even have legs 500 charcuterie boards because Ronnie's charcuterie boards sponsored the break-ins. My contention has been that what started as a good intention of, oh, my God, let's give Christmas where there was none before to people, and then in and out, and we leave, has turned into a sponsorship opportunity for dozens of people that spend money. It has become a money-making venture. All right? It was getting that way when I was there. Local furniture company would sponsor it, and then they'd make it seem like, oh, yeah, they're just giving it all away. No, they're spending big money with all of the donations in exchange for the mentions. Entire ad budgets for a year are spent on these things. Sarah Honda Granville, who's got the world's biggest asshole general manager. Everybody else there is great. I love Thad. But the general manager is a total piece of shit. They spend big money. So don't even try to convince me that this is some good thing that you're doing. You're making tons of money off of it. And then the element of, all right, okay, we're going to give 500 charcuterie boards to this family. They are unemployed, and the mom won't get a job and the dad's drunk. Okay, well, let's take those details and make it that it's a single mom who's got vagina cancer and all the kids are amputees. Let's do that. Okay, great. Bob says, how many cars were given away from that one used car dealer? Drives off good. Guy that also gave the Lindsay Lohan Freedom van for Joe. Yes. I forgot the name of the place. So that's all I've said. Not to mention the fake sniffles. Not to mention the, all right, hey, it's free beer. I'm getting ready to leave for my break-in. Then he walks in the other room, picks up the phone. Hell yeah, I am now 40 miles away. Yeah, oh my God. Look at them. They're loading it all in. Let me read you this letter that I made up off the top of my head. Huge pile of shit. But yeah, there are people getting gifts. I've never denied that. There are people that are taking it. I mean, who wouldn't want 500 charcuterie boards from Ronnie's Charcuterie Board Exchange? Ashley is here. I made her laugh. Why has it been so long since you've been here? What the fuck are you doing, you slob? Hold on a second here. I'm calling you. Let me look up SKANK. All right.
Good morning.
Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Very well. Did you ever participate on a holiday break-in?
I did.
Is what I'm saying even, is it true? I mean, can you maybe describe what you remember?
I just remember going to Meijer and getting an ungodly amount of wrapping paper, but never going to a house or anything. It was just a bunch of errands.
Did it seem like there was way too many gifts for one household?
Seems a little unnecessary, but the charcuterie board is killing me.
The fact that somebody who lives in an 18 by 18 house is getting 90,000 square feet of gifts.
Yeah, they get the charcuterie boards in the trailer, but there's no cheese to go with it. So.
All right. So everybody's wondering are you still in West Michigan?
I am still in West Michigan.
Is there a Mr. Ashley these days?
No, not since the love of my life, Mr. Mayor.
I'm not laughing because you're single. I'm laughing because the way you describe that.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Oh my God, you're so not over it.
No, I am over it.
Oh, you are. Okay.
If there's a Mr. out there, we can do round 4 again.
All right. Well, good deal. That's outstanding. And you're still working for the same place?
Yeah.
My God.
Crazy, right?
I don't want to say anything more because you claim that the last time I talked to you too much on the show, that I got you fired or some shit.
That was true. So let's be good.
We'll dispute that. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, see ya. There you go. Oh, my God. Fuck. Oh, yeah. So what do I do? Joe. Yeah, let's go shopping at Meijer, and then you can punch me in the fucking face. Oh, my God. Oh, I love you. Oh, my God. Oh, I hate you. Oh, you broke my nose. I love it. Oh, yeah. Oh. Runner girl Amy is here. She's in love with Ashley, and Ashley's in love with her. Why is this all coming up? Why are we focusing on this? Because rather than focusing on the broadcast, 7 hours ago, Jonathan Winston wrote this about me. So that would be, okay, it's where I'm at, it's 9:34. I'm assuming He's an hour back if he's working in the oil field, probably somewhere in Texas. So we're talking about 1 or 2 in the morning. I was on his mind as he's pumping oil out of the ground in the middle of nowhere. And he heads over to the segment 18 page and writes this. Now, I would argue that I was the best hire ever. It worked out outstandingly. Okay? It all worked out. Why we were a great team for a while, despite our differences. We did a very good job at creating the entity that is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show, most of it by me. And then when I was dealt out, when I was fired, the show continued on, and you're very happy. So that would make it the best hire ever. You got me in. I did what I did. The relationship got long in the tooth, didn't work out, and then that's it. Who gives a shit? But I didn't do anything bad to. I helped the growth of the show, so I would argue that I was the. If it wasn't for me, the show would not be where they are. If it wasn't for me, that show would not have a holiday break-in. Everybody knows that. So whatever. I've moved on. You should too. Just because I do air checks and critique that show once in a while, once a week for an hour, it shouldn't be the end of the world. You should be ignoring me. You really should. I can't believe you would take any of your precious time devoting it on the day of the holiday break-in. This is your Super Bowl of a day for the show. Let's see. Jonathan said Eric is posting repeatedly that the holiday break-ins are fake. That is not true. I have never once said that. I've called them the holiday fake-in, but I've never said that they're fake. You can ask the dozens of West Michigan people who may or may not be in financial trouble, who have dozens of charcuterie boards. They have been recipients. Like there was one couple that was so poor, so-and-so sewer company or whatever, septic system, agreed to show up and pump their septic. They didn't have a septic system, so we just announced that we just gave them a sponsorship. They just paid for the sponsorship. That's how it works. Logan said, no. He said they're heavily dramatized. Fake stories, calls from the break-in are actually from another studio or the radio station lobby. He never said they're fake. Correct. This person says he has definitely said they were fake multiple times over the years. He's a giant wine bag. Okay. Logan says he tells the same stories every year about Free Beer's fake sniffles, the fake call-ins, and the fake stories. He's never flat out called them fake. This person says, oh, please. He has spent years claiming they're staged. Not sure how you used the word fake 3 times there to describe what Eric says about the break-in and still came to the conclusion that he hasn't called them fake. He literally calls them the fake-ins. LOL, I mean, what is there to break-ins other than the stories of the families and the call-ins? Now, Zane is a giant tool who gets off on being boarding libel towards the FBHW show. Oh, you can't use legal language like that. Bordering on libel. That's ridiculous. And then this person shows some screenshot from, I don't know when this was. This looks like it's years old, even though it says 22 weeks ago. So you're against the charity the money goes to. And I said, I'm not sure. I'm not positive they aren't embezzling. And that's true. I don't know that. Why would I make a comment about where that money goes? I have no idea what they're doing with it. If it's a 501c3 charity, it should all be transparent. You should be able to go there and take a look at their books. And I'm sure it's fine, but I'm not positive they're not embezzling. That's not libelous. And then this person then says, well, don't most charities dabble with embezzlement? Well, that person's saying it's embezzlement. I'm not saying it's embezzlement. Doesn't change that things like the holiday break-ins are pretty awesome. And I wrote staged. Yeah, of course they're staged. The same way I've told you they're staged. My God. Logan says, well, you clearly haven't listened to the words coming out of his mouth, just regurgitating what other people say. He's literally said on his show with his own mouth that the people are real. They really get free stuff like charcuterie boards, but the show embellishes the stories for the dramatics. Now, we would oftentimes say, yeah, we're changing the details so that these people, that their identities are safe. And that is true. If you really wanted to make it known, you want to make sure that, you take all the actual facts and completely eliminate them and put in your own details so that, the situation doesn't stand out as something that someone could recognize. So to do that, you have to absolutely just change it. Now, when I was building the holiday break-ins, I said, I don't think that's necessary. They said, no, that's absolutely true. I go, well, that takes away the impact. If we're telling people that they're fake stories, why would we do that? Rich is here. He says he's not saying the entire thing is fake. He's saying the stories are heavily embellished and the on-site calls are done from the studio hallway. Free beer sniffles are fake, though. Why lean in close to the mic to sniff? Well, I don't know if they're fake now. I'm just telling you what I saw when I worked with them. It seemed fake because what I remember seeing is like you'd have a person describing the recipient and say, yes, this recipient has 11 different kinds of cancer and AIDS and MS and Lou Gehrig's disease and could use a break. And then Greg would be sitting there listening for a strategic point, and then he'd go, I was like, oh, my God. Wow, that's weird. Matt says, I am a spiraling alcoholic. Now, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel on insults if you're talking about my alcoholism. Next year will be 30. Wait a minute. It might be 30 years now. I can't remember if it was. What have I said in the past? Have I said 95 or 96? No, it was 96. This summer in June, it will be 30 years since I have consumed alcohol. So I don't know if I'm definitely describing myself as a spiraling alcoholic. That's kind of weak. Danny says, I thought this was about Zane, not Maitland and Kelly. And then Alan says, those two have steady jobs that aren't focused on shitting on people. That's been a thing of theirs for a long time, that I don't have a steady job. I wish I had less steady jobs. And I wrote, I love your neck beard. And he said, LMAO, dude, get a real job. I don't know what to say about that. I've had a real, where do you want to begin? When you say real job, do you mean one where you have to like check in with the boss and drive to a location and like punch a time clock? Because by that definition, I guess I don't really have a job, because I've been able to, the overhead in my job, in my business, is has no cost. It's my brain and my mouth and my words. That is all it takes to do what I do. And I have here in this little old room all I need. Okay? Why in the world? So that means I don't have a real job because I do it from the house and hang out with the dogs, and I wear the same clothes every day because I'm too lazy to change my clothes because I'm so GD comfortable. Oh, no. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up for the real job. I really want to do that one. I have such a good time here that leaving the house is like frightening to me. I'm like, oh my God, I got to leave. I got to go down. I got to go out to the mailbox and get the mail. I don't think this is a bad gig. I mean, I do wish I could see more people, but I don't think this is a bad gig at all. Alan says, do you not see the irony here? Man, Facebook people are so fucking weird. Like, what idiotic notion inspires so many people to join groups for things they don't like? Logan says, it's the best radio show in America. What makes you think I don't like it? And I said, I agree. I love it. The shitty content fuels my soul. Why are all these wieners bitching here? They should be listening to the Gregsters fake crying. So anyway, again, this all started because that I did nothing. This guy did this at 2 a.m. Magical Lobster 8422 says, if he makes disparaging comments about free beer and hot wings, he tends to pull more listeners, viewers from the hate, fear of missing out watching. I don't know that. I have no idea. That's all it is. That's why he's still clinging to the show. Okay, that's ridiculous. I love when people say I'm doing that to cling to the show. I've been podcasting for 7 years. And 2 of those years, I've been doing Who Are These Free Beers? Maybe. Because he still profits from it by disparaging it. The best action possible is to ignore him altogether. And that part is true. Jesus. That part is true. But again, I didn't go to this page and post. Someone posted about me. They sought me out. I bank on people who are disenfranchised. It's important for people to know that I exist and that I do these things. And then they put that in the back of their brain. Now, they may not rush over and check out what I have to say, but they might absolutely be curious as to what I do. And more often than not, it's fantastic and entertaining, dare I say, every time. Ben Glaze and I do an amazing set of shows on Big Fraud show days. And not just Who Are These Free Beers? So for those who then later on get disenfranchised with that show, I'm here for them. All right? Now, I will say this. If you sign up now for Patreon at patreon.com/Eric Zane, I will throw in a free charcuterie board, which I stole on my days from Free Beer and Hot Wings. Stevie says you were 26 when you quit. Yes. No, I was 25. Because June of 96 would make me 25. Wait a minute. Hold on. No. Wait a minute. I'm confused here. Because Jackie was not, Diana had not given, okay. Yes, it was 96. Because Jim was only around. Jacqueline had not yet been born. Jacqueline was born in April of 27. Stevie said you said before you were 26. It had to have been a mistake by me. Because if I would have been 26 if it were June of 97, and it wasn't. It was June of 96. That makes me 25. I'm 100% sure that is my mistake. Amanda says, I love easy math. Oh, I do too. I do too. Oh, my God, I got to sneeze. Hang on. devastating. Birch Barlow says the FBHW crowd are the same ones that say it's true because they saw it on the internet. Scott says congrats on the sobriety. It's been great. It's so far away. But I'll say it again. If you're a drunk like me, the one thing you never want to do is get cocky with it. Because it's always in the rearview mirror. It's just way far back there. And every day that you're successful in not drinking, it's a little bit further backwards. But the time it takes to get behind you and very, very distant, it takes longer. It takes me 30 years so that it's just a dot in the rearview mirror. But one bad day, and it's back. It doesn't gradually come back. It just comes back. And then whammo! So it could creep up on me at any time. And I have to keep that in mind. Let's see. Clown of Carnage says, based on the logic of the audience, that he doesn't have a real job. He works from home. Very interesting job. That would be Black Belt Nick. When people have inventions, they apply for patents. He is the guy who says, he has two stamps. One says approved, and the other one says suck my dick. And then if they get that one, that means it's not approved. He's a patent approver guy, federal employee. Rebecca says, your job is infinitely more difficult than mine is. Thank you. I don't know about that, though. I don't know what you do again. You told me, but I forgot. I was in small talk mode. Wait a minute. Don't you work for like a hospital system? Or no, you work for Orthopedic Associates. No, that's Becca Shea. I don't know what you do. You might have told me that. You are your own boss. You have to be extremely motivated to get up every day, prep the show, sell marketing, and everything else we don't see. Thank you. But this, this isn't about me. Patrick says FBHW, lack of content and downward trajectory is worth talking about. It's so bizarre to me that people are so passionate about this shitty version of that show. Exactly, Patrick. There is a pile of dogs behind me, two of which have hoodies. One does not. Megan says O'Neill doesn't need a hoodie because he gets to be in the puppy pile with the hoodie dogs. Scott writes, I was 8 years clean next April. Okay, so that means like you're like struggling? Are you not on the sober bandwagon? Or are you still? Maybe that's written weird. Branjo says we should all trade jobs for a day. I'll be an on-air traffic controller. That would be Nick in Houston. He is the air traffic controller, which, by the way, yesterday I talked about this on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. We were talking about, actually, no, it was on the, I forgot what. No, it was on yesterday's Patreon. I was talking about scenes from movies where there was plane disasters or planes landing. And I watched when Sully landed. Tom Hanks and that other guy landed the plane. And the air traffic controller, Teterboro. That's Nick. I'll bet you Nick could write a book. I don't know. Maybe only if there's been interesting things happening. Otherwise, it'd be boring as hell. Of moments when he's had to, issue emergency-style advice to the pilots. Side note, talking to Nick, the air traffic controller out of Houston. I remember one time I interviewed the guy who's in charge of the Federal Aviation Association Administration, FAA, Federal Aviation Administration. Why in the world would I be talking to the guy who runs the FAA? He wrote a book, and his name is Ben Sliney. No longer runs the FAA. He got out of that business. He had been hired, and he was getting ready to start his first day of work. So his first day of work, he was so proud to be able to do this. Really moved up in the world. This is kind of like pinnacle level of peak performance. In charge of the FAA. He's going to be at the nerve center of the entire operation and actually talk to the boots on the ground that are actually directing traffic. And he walks in, 8:30 the first day, straightens his tie. He goes, what a day. And it was September 11, 2001. His first day on the job in charge of the FAA is that. Oh, my God. He played himself in the film Flight 93, which was the one in Shanksville. Flight 93, Ben Sliney. Or United 93. It was a great movie. Let's roll. No, I'm not going to play it. Never mind. It's too difficult to find scenes. Maureen says, here's my resignation. Rebecca says, I quit. Nick, the Black Belt Nick says, my first supervisor watched. You wrote watched the OK going into the Pentagon as he was driving in. I think that's obviously a typo. The plane going into the Pentagon as he was driving in, didn't see it hit because of the VM buildings, but saw it going down into it. The one plane. I quit this bitch. Inetta, the mood setter. Of course, legendary, my God. All right, definitely a Friday edition of the show. In 3, 2, 1, we should be hearing from Man Bun Chris saying, hey, it's an hour late. I forgot. I saw an article about the unsettling reason Rob Reiner's son, Nick, attended Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. As stories continue to unfold about this psychopath. He wasn't even invited to the bash, but Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, didn't want to leave him alone. So they're like, okay, we want to go to the party. So Reiner called Conan and said, hey, man, can I bring my son? And, Conan probably knew that this guy's a psychopath and was probably like, oh, God, fuck me. But said, yeah, sure. The Hollywood Reporter said that Nick's, quote, often extreme and stressful behavior had escalated and grown degrees even more concerning in recent weeks. Because of this, the Reiners were reluctant to leave him home alone in the guest house of their Brentwood home in Los Angeles. Wow. So Rob Reiner, this is a huge mistake on his part. I just wouldn't have gone to the party. if there's a person in my life that I don't want to leave them alone because they're a psycho or a junkie and a psycho or a psycho junkie or a junkie psycho, I'm just not going to leave them alone. And I'm sure as fuck not going to bring him to Conan O'Brien's house for the fucking party. But Conan said, yeah, sure, bring him. So then they bring him to the party, and then he is totally weird at the party. Like he walked up to Bill Hader and he said this to him and he said it to a bunch of other people. He would ask them 3 questions. What's your first name? Bill. What's your last name? Hader. Are you famous? And he would ask those 3 questions to everyone there. And I guess Bill Hader was having a conversation with somebody, and he goes, "You mind? This is a private conversation." Great song by Lyle Lovett, by the way. So then he told Nick, "Hey, buddy, we're having a conversation here. You mind?" Nick stormed off, like psychos do. Reiner then went to his son and said, "Look, dude, what are you doing?" And it turned into an argument. And then Reiner said, "Hey, sorry," to Conan. And then, inexplicably, Reiner and his wife left this asshole there. Like they didn't bring him home. Like, what a pile of shit. I don't even know that if maybe Conan O'Brien murdered these 2 people for leaving this psycho at his house. So why the fuck did they do that? I mean, who knows what was said? I mean, either way, it probably wasn't going to work out. You know, for the Reiners, either way. Nick, then, the bad thing happened. He went back to the Santa Monica Pierside Hotel, and the room was full of bloody handprints, and it was a complete disaster. And the rest is history. His dad's friend, Barry Markowitz, exclusively told Page 6 of the New York Post that Nick appeared on the upswing when he stayed with the Reiners last month. Yeah, he's doing all right. He's coming around. Yeah, you don't want to be describing a 32-year-old man as, hey, I think he's getting it. I think he's coming around. They're fucked. He looked great, speculating that Nick had a sickness because there was so much love between the family members. Ugh, I feel so bad for people that are stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, when you have a loved one that's a complete loser junkie and it's affecting your life. I mean, what do you do? I feel for families who have to, like, cut that guy out. Let them free. No, you can't come to my house. No, you're addicted to drugs. I'm not going to enable you anymore. No, you don't have a place to stay. That is very, very difficult. I feel for anybody that has to deal with that. I think I'd be good at it, though. Tyler says, Conan definitely dropped him off, gave him the knife, and said, "Tell your dad I said thanks for leaving you." Clown of Carnage, Black Belt Nick says, "I cut one of my cousins for all those reasons." Okay, now when you say cut, can you clarify that? Did you, like, pull out a Rambo knife, or did you cut them out of your life for one of those reasons? He says cut off. I'm the same way. I recently developed a new attitude. It was 3 years ago. I developed a new policy. And if I feel like my ass has been fucked I am cutting you out. All right? And there's no more going back. And I've utilized it many, many times. And that's a difficult thing to do at first because you're like, oh boy, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. And then I finally, something clicked in my brain and I got super aggressive about it. So my favorite thing to do is to cut out and then wait. And then they come back. And then when they do, you tell them to fuck off. Because they're going to come back and try to manipulate you again. So keep it simple and look out for yourself. You look out for number one. All right? What's that saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, go fuck yourself. Patrick's a big believer in that, and I am too. I've been cutting people off for years, and I love it. Cole said, would the Great Zaniac Exodus episode work as a bit to be reviewed on Who Are These Broadcasters? I don't know. I don't even remember what happened with that. I mean, I know the scenario, but I don't remember what I said. The problem with that is, when you give material for Who Are These Broadcasters, it's supposed to be shitty material. And I have never, every time I have been near a microphone, it's been Marconi Award winning. Everybody knows that. I love it, though. If I get the opportunity to be featured on Who Are These Podcasts, it's always a good thing for me. So I encourage that. There was a time when I was doing the show here and Darla peed on the couch. And instead of like shutting the live stream down, I left and got the carpet cleaner and cleaned the couch during the show. And they featured it on Who Are These Podcasts, and I'm eternally grateful. I love my friends at Who Are These Podcasts. Carl has done me a great service by allowing me to be on his network. I'm very thankful for it. Rebecca says, I don't have the time or energy to waste on people who don't bring value to our relationship. I have family I don't talk to for that reason. Sucks to suck. Yeah, that's my philosophy too. I've got a whole wing of people that I'm like, it is time to fly. Time for me to fly. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with it. And I even go so far as if someone who is not on, quote unquote, the list tries to convince me to remove people from the list, I will actually say, okay, just so you know, if this conversation continues any longer, you will, in fact, be put on the list, too. And once you're on the list, you're not getting off of the list. So just tread lightly. You got to be careful. Now, if you want, hey, how are the kids talking? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what do you think about Trump? What an asshole, huh? I'm your guy. But if you're going to try to get out of your lane and try to come into my lane, I'm going to flatten your fucking nose. From this point forward, 3 years ago. Well, it was actually 3 years, 2 months ago. Alan says, what kind of list are we talking about here? Well, you know that film Schindler's List? When Liam Neeson played Oscar Schindler? Schindler's List were the list of people that he saved from the Nazis. My list is the list of people that I prefer dead. So it's the opposite of Schindler's List. All right? Becca Shea throws out Aria's list. Yeah, but mine is much longer. I am not kidding you. My list is probably right now 50 to 100 people. All right? 50 to 100 on my list. I don't know what I'm better at, loving or hating. I excel at both of those things. If you are on my love list, I love you forever. If you are on my hate list, there's no getting off of the list. And I didn't put you on the list. You earned that. All right? And that's it. It's a very simple process. Bob says Chris Jericho's list. Very much like Chris Jericho's list. There have been times in the past when I had not as intense of a list, when people could potentially fall off of the list. That is very rare these days for someone to actually fall off the list, because I've hardened myself. And it makes me that much more awesome. I'm very happy about that. And I hope you are too. I suggest you give people less grace, because they will take advantage of you. All right? You give them an inch, they will take a mile. Everybody else can fuck off. All right. This is why I don't talk to people. Like, when I am at the Great Food Giveaway, I don't speak. I shovel snow. I talk to the people I love. But the public, I'm not. I said to Megan, I go, can I go welcome people? She goes, no, I don't want you talking to anybody. You're a problem. All right. I get you. I feel you. I trust you. I've trusted you since this whole thing got started. Breaking. President Trump just signed an executive order declaring Christmas Eve and December 26th federal holidays, an early present for federal workers. They now get both days off of work. Trump loves Christmas. This is from one of the right-wing assholes that I follow. Does that matter, though? Isn't it true that the executive orders are bullshit? Didn't Trump, remember that story about for the national parks, there were several days that were get-in free days to all the national parks? So if you go to, like, Mount Rushmore, you get in free on various days. And two of them were Juneteenth and the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And then Trump said, no, that is no longer a thing. Those are no longer free days. However, I am adding a free day, and that is my birthday. Trump did that. He said, you can now get into the national parks on my birthday, but you cannot get into the national parks for free on Juneteenth and Martin Luther King Jr. Now, if that doesn't scream he is racist, I don't know what does. Yet there are still millions of black people that love Trump, and I've never been able to figure it out. There's millions of Mexicans that love Trump, and there's millions of black people that love Trump. Does that mean that those Mexicans and those black people that love Trump are stupid versions of Mexicans and blacks? Is that what we're suggesting? Or is that being suggested? Because how else can you fucking explain that? I mean, what black guy goes, I love Trump. Hey, did you hear that he canceled it so you can't get into the parks free on the King holiday and Juneteenth? I love Trump still. How does that work? How do you figure that out? I mean, you're black. You should hate that shit. God damn. I think that if black people and the Mexicans didn't support Trump, he would have lost the goddamn election. He got a huge number of black and Mexican votes. Stevie said, it's like my gay friend that went MAGA over the summer. I don't get it. I remember when Pooh Bear and I visited some friends in New York. And one of them is a gay guy that she went to college with. Linda might know. His name is Rodney. Do you know Rodney, Linda? Gay guy, theater queen. And it was after the first election, and we had voted for Trump in that election. And then after January 6th, I flipped, and I haven't looked back. And we sit down with this guy, and during the course of the conversation, we revealed that we voted for Trump in the 2016 election. And he almost left. He was so pissed about that. Like, well, wait a minute. Hold on. We thought we're trying to explain our vote to him. Finally got to calm his ass down, and it was fine. But I was like, oh, my God. All right. Now, make no mistake. I love my MAGA audience members. I don't let your R-word brain affect my love for you. Okay? I have gotten to a point where I am no longer mad at you. I am respecting your decision to make bad choices. I love that. And I'm here to support you in your horrible decisions. And I am here to support the president. You're like, how in the world can you say that? It's like, look, I don't like the decisions, but it's all we have for the next 3 years. So if that motherfucker says something, I'm going to be like, well, it's your ball, your field. Fucking A. And frankly, there are several things in the presidency that I have enjoyed. I'm not going to lie to you. When Trump's blowing up the drug boats, that one's my favorite. Oh, my God. I have enjoyed one of my favorite things to do. You can find compilations of just these night vision drug boats getting blown to fuck. It's so amazing. And then the asshole Democrats, and they say, oh, you destroyed a fisherman and his family. As if they were fishing. Yeah, at 80 miles an hour on a drug boat with cocaine flying off the back. You fucking moron. That's a bunch of shit. I'm hopeful for a full-scale invasion of Venezuela, actually. I think that would be kick-ass. I just read an op-ed piece from a Democrat in the New York Post who was pissed off when Trump put the National Guard into D.C. But then the point of the article was like, but I recently went there, and I do know the statistics. No one's talking about it, but the crime has been reduced in D.C. dramatically, by like 50, 60%. Like the amount of time that people would be walking down the street in D.C. and then accosted by homeless people, it was a daily occurrence. And on the streets of D.C., massive metropolitan area with a large homeless population and fucking psychos and junkies walking the street, it's down dramatically. And look, I don't know where the fuck all the homeless people went, and I don't care. I don't care. If I'm walking on any city street and some psycho tries to steal my shit or hurt me because they're a goddamn psychopath, I don't want that. I want to walk down the street safely. So he did do that. And this Democratic opinion piece, he's like, it worked. And I think that in the other major metropolitan cities where the National Guard is there, it also is very effective. What is happening, this tough stance on crime, is working. And newsflash, in New York City, the new mayor of New York is not like that. Mamdani is light on crime and will be light on crime and will not be enforcing the guy who jumps the tolls, the person who accosts someone and steals their cell phone on the street. And This opinion piece then went on to say, and I got to find it and link it up, that at the end of this tenure, you will see just how bad it is. And it will get bad. It will get bad like 1970s crime-ridden Times Square bad. Alan says the homeless in Milwaukee are ruthless. They will come and bang on your windows at stoplights. Look up the effect of light on crime in Portland, Oregon. What happened there? Catastrophe. And they're trying to fix it now because they did that whole come to Portland. We are decriminalizing heroin. It's okay to bring heroin and do heroin here. And boy, did they come. Black Belt Nick says, yeah, walking one block off the National Mall was always a gamble when I lived there. Can't imagine how bad it got. And, you know, the left, which I am neither left nor right. You know that. The left was quick to attack Trump and say, you're the Gestapo. They're going to attack normal people. It's like, no, they're not, you asshole. The fuck is wrong with you? They're going to help you. All right. Total Friday vibe. Not yet have seen Bread Bowl Brain Chris. He's probably busy working. I have vowed that I will listen to all of the fake-ins for the sniffle count. I think it might be interesting since I was tipped off that there was not one sniffle for the Hot Wings break-in. Sorry, when I said Bread Bowl Brain Chris, I meant Man Bun Chris. I got my Chris's mixed up. That's why I said that. Because he's notoriously late on Fridays. I wouldn't have thought of this had Bob not said it. But I know that when I worked there, Freeber did not like Hot Wings. And I still believe that. Nothing's changed. He resents him for not doing shit. If it is true, and I'm sure it is, that in today's break-in there was no sniffling, none of Freeber's fake sniffling, alleged fake. Well, it was fake when I saw him. At least it seemed that way to me. I need to go back to last year's break-in and compare. What does that tell you if there's sniffles in all of last year's break-ins and all of this year's break-ins except for Hot Wings? What does that tell you? I'll let you draw your own conclusions. Special thanks to Tony over at Skydive Grand Haven. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get a tandem jump at skydivegrandhaven.com. They put their trust in me during the off season to be able to sell some skydive packages. I'm the only person that they gave money to do this. So if you're like, I've always wanted to do this, but I'll just keep putting it off, buy it now and use it in the summer. In fact, it would make a great gift. Go to skydivegrandhaven.com and click where it says shop gift certificates. Spend $249. And someone you know or love, or you, will be jumping at 8,000 feet. That's a fun jump. Perfect, especially for the beginner tandem jump. You don't have to do anything but hang on and enjoy the ride. Tony and or his team of skydiving pros will take care of the rest. You can get video. You can get pictures. It's a beautiful view. It's the only view of Grand Haven from the sky that you can possibly see while skydiving. By the way, they are the only skydiving place in the area that will let you jump from 17,000 feet. That's the big one. That's the big kahuna. All right? Buy it now. Give it away as a gift. It's a gift that if you give it, a person will never forget that gift. Think about that. All the other gifts you give, the ones you receive, they're all forgotten. They're all forgotten. Not this gift. $249. All right. SkydiveGrandhaven.com. I've got some bets on the amount of sniffles for free beer. If you guys want to make a bet, I can put you down. Bob is going to go with 38 Greg Mike sniffles. You can enter it on the chat. If you're listening to this podcast later on, you can send me an email, or if you have my phone number, text it to me. Email the Shoreliner Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Bob throws out 38. That's not a bad guess. Murder Lover Linda drops 18. It's going to be way more than that. Kuipers says 42. Closest without going over. Birch Barlow, 16. Alan says, what was last year's count? How about we do this? Let's go back to the official record of last year's count. I have the supercut with the video. Let's do that. Let's do the supercut with the video to give you an idea of how many.
Fancy it.
All right, give me a second. I will try to count here. It's going to be very difficult. You can watch this video and listen to.
Fancy idiots.
Yes.
It's after What a Wonderful Mom.
You know, that's Maria. Pull up now.
Undergone surgeries attacking her than where they live. Not, and that's ultimately, yeah.
The closest. Kelly's next on the break-ins.
No over their heads to a house fire. Long term.
Wow.
Yeah. Friends at Sarah Hunter. And we've got Liz Celebration Cinema.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be good.
They could not remove it all. We got some from house to house. Well, that got us. You can't expect or plan for. You guys know how this is. They won't call me back. Don't do the wrong thing.
This is a good village that we're a part of.
Spoke to us, and
I love it.
They just
dumping it all in there, decorating.
Thank you for your service to these families. Oh, that really got me. Captain.
team, yeah. See them lose any more.
Fancy idiots.
Yes.
It's after What a Wonderful Mom.
You know, that's Maria. Pull up now.
Undergone surgeries attacking her than where they live. Not, and that's ultimately, yeah.
The closest. Kelly's next on the break-ins.
No over their heads to a house fire. Long term.
Wow.
Yeah. Friends at Sarah Hunter. And we've got Liz Celebration Cinema.
Yeah.
Gonna be good.
They could not remove it all. We got some from house to house. Well, that got us.
Oh, shit.
You can't expect or plan.
It kept playing. I was wondering why it never stopped. It would have kept going for like 5 minutes. Corn Pop says 21. Maureen says 25. I think Tyler says, did it start over? Yes, it sure did. God damn it. I've been doing brain farts like that a lot lately. Patrick says when you actually count them, it's way more than you would think. All right, so I think we're in the ballpark of 30 to 40 right now. I think. That's my guess. That is a fair assessment. Thank you to Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. What a team over there. If your car is effed, whether it be a regular car, an EV, or a hybrid, they will repair it for you. Great place to have this done. If you don't have the time or you don't have the know-how, this is who you call. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. 616-532-6600. That's 616-532-6600. ervines.com. Free loaner cars. Tyler says, my dumb ass was at 67 before I realized the clip started sounding familiar. Alan says 53 clips or 53 sniffs. Thank you again to Irvine's. We will be there on Tuesday the 23rd for the Great Food giveaway. I think Megan was looking for a head count on the Great Food giveaway. And I don't know. I'm going to guess the amount of people from the show that will be there, audience members, probably north of 20. I would say would be safe, but I'm not 100%. Becky says 32. Tyler says, I won't be there. I do? How come I know that you won't be there? Megan says, if you're coming out and you're in the chat, tell us. Oh, yeah, Tyler says it's too spooky. And I get that for Tyler. We've talked about this before. We're still trying to break him of that horrible boat anchor called shyness. That the idea of meeting people is spooky. He says, in all seriousness, I will be at the Polyp Factory that day. Sorry, guys. Amy says, can Spooky show up at the Beltline Bar? Yeah, what about it, Spooky? What time do you work till? It's fucking 2 days before Christmas, and Spooky's cutting up polyps at fucking time to eat. I don't get it. Black Belt Nick is booked. He can't be there for the after meal. Hurricane Ashley says, runner girl Amy will have me on the shortest leash. I would love it if Spooky was there, but, that whole thing about, oh, no, there's people. I don't like to see people. I get scared. I'm shy. Yeah, well, I'm going to beat the shit out of you until you're over that. Maureen says we'll need to give the Beltline Bar a heads up to get a big table set up for us. Megan says that the world-famous NFK, No Filter Kevin, can come give the meals to people. No, we don't want that. No, ma'am. I have to bowl that night, says Kuipers, so I can't be at the Beltline Bar. No biggie. No pressure. Stevie says he would be calling them the N-word. Yeah, well, only if they pissed him off. Yeah, no, it's better off he just stays here. Stays in the house. That's where he belongs. Fucking Quasimodo. All right. Before I continue, let me talk about one more sponsor here. Merchant Automotive. Oh, my God. Eric Merchant. Dude, driver of the 66 limited late model at Berlin. He's usually crashing into my driver. That would be Adam Kasari. Both of them are like, I think they just race for fun. They got like a ton of dough. So they buy race cars and then fulfill their racing fantasies. Anyway, Merchant Automotive. He's in the 66 Merchant Automotive car. Merchant-automotive.com is the website. And if you need your truck with a Duramax engine or an Allison transmission repaired, you take it to Merchant Automotive in Zeeland, Michigan. They are the authority on all things Duramax and Allison. Okay? Irvine's for your car stuff. Merchant for your diesel shit. And if you're a DIY pro, head to their website. You can shop on there for one of about 1 million different parts and upgrades for your vehicle, for your truck at merchant-automotive.com. Make that be your first stop for all your DIY stuff for you gearheads who ride around in your big fucking trucks that have Trump stickers on the back. And I love you for that. They found the guy who shot up Brown University. It would be Claudio Neves Valente. He is dead. I don't know how they did this, but they got an idea about who he was and where he was, and they descended upon a storage facility business, and I guess he was in one of the storage things, and they were setting up shop, getting ready to wait him out and have a standoff, and then he shot himself. He is a Portuguese national. You know, half the time when these things happen, you're interested as to why they took place. You know, why it isn't often. Most of the time, if there's a mass shooting, the killer usually kills themselves right after. Or during it, or whatever the fuck. Rarely are they, like, captured. This is part of the press conference from yesterday.
To be the chief of police of this city. I'm proud to be a product of this city for the reasons that the mayor stated. The community stepped up. It was all about groundwork, that every police officer in this nation reminds themselves of, and that many do not understand.
All right, get to it.
We looked at video to the tip center. That room was packed with detectives, agents, receiving calls on a daily basis. We started early and left late. Then Flock and the LPR was able to provide us with this description of this vehicle. That vehicle was picked up by Flock, which led us to a car rental place in Massachusetts. Through that, the agents and their work as well were able to get us footage of this individual, as well as a copy
I have a hard time taking this serious because of this asshole sign language guy. Can we please not do this anymore? Is there any way? I don't know one person in my life who utilizes sign language. It is a crock of shit. All right? We don't need to have this asshole making these stupid fucking gestures while this is happening. It's ridiculous. Just have someone tell you on their own. Sit with your own interpreter, someone who loves you.
The agreement, which provided his real name.
Every one of these interpreters are dicks.
The video of that subject.
Remember that one in Michigan during COVID, that weirdo chick? God.
Matched the description of that person of interest that this police department was desperate to put handcuffs on. An individual was identified as Claudio Neves Valente, date of birth, and he was a 48-year-old man. He was a Brown student. He was a Portuguese national, and his last known address was in Miami, Florida. And I will tell you that he took his own life tonight. We have members of the Providence Police Department up in Salem, New Hampshire. And we also have the BCI unit. Obviously, the FBI and their evidence recovery unit is up there. So the process is being conducted as we speak.
All right, whatever. Sign language guy always makes a mockery of shit. Enough. Okay, we get it. Piano Finger Banger says Easy hates deaf people. Confirmed. Tyler says if only there was some technology where words could be typed on TV screens. Cole says the same thing. TVs have closed caption. Eliminate that position. Only sign language we need is the middle finger. Tyler says that reminds me of weird face sign language lady when Whitmer would give us the COVID updates. Yes, we were thinking the same thing. She was terrible. Regarding the spokesperson there, this is their spokesperson, says Cole. Megan says, didn't Trump just say no more ASL during his speeches? I don't know. I hope that's another reason that's the thing I would like. Trump, no more ASL. I think you're right. The Trump administration stopped providing American Sign Language interpreters for the White House briefings, sparking a lawsuit from the National Association of the Deaf, alleging discrimination, with courts ordering the reinstatement of interpreters. A decision the administration is appealing, arguing it intrudes on the president's image. While the NAD emphasizes that ASL and captions aren't the same for deaf access, the situation mirroring a similar legal battle from his first term during COVID. Okay. Removal of interpreters. When Trump returned to office in January of 25, the practice of providing interpreters ended. So if he loses this, and maybe he will, I would make it a point to start every hello, he introduces himself. Hello, my fellow Americans, and to all deaf people, fuck you. So that the deaf person, the deaf interpreter, the ASL has to sign that shit out for them. Oh my God. Thank you for that, Megan. I had not heard about that. Well, anyway, that asshole's dead. So, hot on the heels of Sharon Moore, another football coach, much smaller school that nobody gives a shit about, is in a similar scenario. Similar that it's a sexual relationship that is causing him to get fired. This fat ass, Brian Smith, works for Ohio University. He's only been there a year, and he was just fired because he was porking a student. Carried on a relationship with a student on campus at the school. They say that he violated the terms of his employment agreement by engaging in a serious professional misconduct and participating in activities that reflect unfavorably on the university. Why? What's the problem? If he has a relationship with an adult that happens to go to the school, who cares? He's like 45. He's in, it's one of those deals. It's not like it's a subordinate like Sharon Moore. It's not like he busted in and threatened to unalive in front of all that nastiness. Let's see. The university president also stated in a letter that the coach smelled strongly of alcohol and appeared intoxicated when taking part in a public appearance, per the report. All right, now that's a problem. Smith's attorney, Rex Elliott, said in a statement Wednesday, they vigorously dispute Ohio University's grounds for the termination for cause. News from the Dispatch followed a recent report from The Athletic, which stated the coach met with administrators over an allegation he was in violation of a university and contractual policy related to alcohol and other drugs. Suzanne Durst, the director of employee experience at Ohio, expanded on a meeting with Smith in a November 24th letter, a gathering where the coach acknowledged storing alcohol in his office desk drawer, and that he had consumed alcohol in his office after normal business hours. Whatever. Additionally, Smith had toasted on occasion with students all over the age of 21 for a single drink of bourbon. All right, it doesn't say if that happened on university grounds, and who cares if it did. So you're telling me that because he says, all right, a toast to Christmas, a toast to the football team. Everybody's over, hey, there you go, boom. All right, you're fired? Staffers cannot use, possess, manufacture, or distribute drugs and alcohol or be under the influence of drugs and or alcohol while in the workplace or in university vehicles and equipment while on duty, as indicated. All right. So I guess there is a rule, but are you serious? Well, what is it? Is it because he had a drink? Because he was in a consensual relationship with another adult that happened to go to the school? Smith stressed that alcohol did not impact his professional abilities and that neither he nor others were under the influence during these instances. Yeah, they got to prove that he's drunk. They're going to get sued. This school is getting sued. There were no other documents in the personal file about the reprimand. They were 8-4 this year, and the coach no longer is able to coach the team in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl next Tuesday against UNLV, which is a bigger bowl game than Michigan in the Home Depot Buttfuck Bowl as they take on Sisters of the Poor or whatever the fuck. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Accusations of an affair, fired after affair with student, alcohol accusations. Somebody's getting sued. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, sounds to me like they wanted to break his contract. Piano Finger Banger, he's a Michigan fan. He says they're playing Texas, but sure, go on. Well, look, you got to understand something. By extension, you got to get the shit beat out of you because of Joe Martinez. If you don't like Michigan, we beat the shit out of Michigan here. All right? The biggest asshole fan base on the ever. Now, you might not be an asshole yourself, but the fan base, they suck. They're horrible. Kuipers is here. He's a Michigan fan. He himself is not an asshole. All right? But Joe Martinez makes up for it. Tyler says Article 1 of college coach employment contract states, thou shalt not fuck the students. Piano Finger Banger says stories like this are why college football is so much better than the NFL. So much better drama. Yes. But sometimes the NFL does have drama too. Piano Finger Banger says Joe Martinez has been revoked from his U of M fandom. They're going to suck in the coming years, Michigan is, because all the good players are going to leave. Since they lost Sharon. Sharon could recruit. Sharon got a lot of great players to come to the school. If I was Michigan, I wouldn't have said anything about this. Sharon Moore is a good coach. When that chick ratted out Sharon, this is what the administration should have done. Ward Manuels should have said, all right, thank you for the information. Here's $1 million. You don't have to work with him anymore. I'll handle him. Just please keep your mouth shut. If you maintain your mouth to be shut, we'll give you an additional $1 million every year. Okay? They have a license to print money there at Michigan. She's going to go, okay, that sounds good. But instead, that idiot fired Moore. He then should have brought more into the office and said, all right, we're going to give you a contract extension for banging this chick. Nobody says shit. All right? And that's the end of it. Now, and then you're encouraged to go bang as many chicks as you possibly can. We will arrange for future meetups with OnlyFans models and whatnot. But leave her alone. That's the only thing. You got to leave her alone. You cool with that? And if he says, well, I love her, well, then, all right, we're going to take you out and fucking beat your ass like Tony Lip outside of the Copacabana in fucking Green Book. That's a hell of a pull. Does anybody know that reference? Tony Lip! Kuipers is here. He believes the hype that Sharon Moore was bad for Michigan. But he's just saying that because a lot of Michigan fans are racist and they didn't like Sharon because he's a black guy. Now, Kuipers loves the black man, but he's also dumb. So if the Michigan racist fans say awful stuff about Sharon, he's going to believe that because he's also simple. Alan loves the Green Book reference. It's a great fucking movie. Viggo Mortensen. Oh, I think I might watch it this weekend. Great movie. That scene when Tony Lip steals the fucking gemstone from the roadside stand. Oh no, my God. Fucking great. Scene after scene in that movie. True story. Dr. Shirley, real guy. Tony Lip, real guy. All right. How did we get to this? Last thing I know, we're talking about the Ohio University head football coach. That's a damn shame. They should put him on Michigan's team right away. Be thinking of your asshole of the day, please, my friends. If you have an issue with your trees, always call Kuiper Tree Care first. Kuiper, KuiperTreeCare.com. 616-828-8225. Please mention me, as you should with all my sponsors. Always mention me. It helps. If you're like, hey, I really want to help out the Eric Zane Show podcast, just engage my sponsors when you need them. That's it. Remember, and spread the word amongst your friends. Hey, I got a tree down. I got a guy. EZ told me about him. Kuiper Tree Care. 616-828-8225 for Kuiper Tree Care. King's Room Barbershop has 3 locations, and I want you to bang on their door and mention my name. They have 3 barbershops, 1 Northland Drive, 1 Caledonia, and 1 at 821 36th Street in Wyoming, Michigan, the beautiful metropolis that is Wyoming. Head to their website, kingsroom.net, for any information that you need, like exact locations, hours of operation, schedules are all there. Haircut will set you back $21, but that's not all they do. Any type of color work you need done, beard care, they do it all. It's if you're a guy, you get your hair cut at King's Room Barbershop, or if you're a chick who likes short hair. Thank you, King's Room Barbershop. Finally today, Frank Fuss from MyPolicyShop.com. My Policy Shop Insurance. If you are without insurance because you're self-employed, perhaps the boss does not offer insurance, or you're in between jobs. That means you're going to get your insurance from the marketplace or through the Affordable Care Act. And Frank is the guru on all things Affordable Care Act. He's helped me with my insurance for this business for 7 years now, and he'll do the same for you. If you want to get some time with Frank to get started, by the way, it's free. Go to appointmentwithfrank.com. appointmentwithfrank.com. Fill out the info, and he will book it with you. Could be by phone, face-to-face. And, like, if you're not in West Michigan, you can still book it. All right? That'll just be phone or maybe Zoom or FaceTime or some shit. And he can help you no matter where you are. The asshole of the day today. %. Feel good about this one. All ALS interpreters are the assholes of the day. If you see someone who knows sign language, kick them in the balls. Thank you for being here. I will join you on the Patreon bonus podcast a little bit later on. If you're not on board with Patreon, head over to patreon.com/Eric Zane and sign up for 7 days free. If you want to chat on the Twitch stream, please subscribe. That is the only way you can do it. Thank you for being here. Talk to you next time. Bye.